Good morning and welcome everybody to math class. As you know, I'm going to be out for a couple weeks, so in the meantime we're going to watch some videos. Hopefully you've had some time over the past week to work on your portfolio for the final exam. There will hopefully be a little more time when I get back where we'll be able to work on that, but it's something you need to keep in mind because it will be 20% of your semester grade. So make sure all the assignments that you've been working on the past week, you've put in the maximum effort that you possibly can. It's the best work you can do. We'll talk about it more when I get back. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about inequalities. So before I left, we focused on solving equations. We practiced solving equations and made sure that we understood how to do them. Inequalities are similar, but they're not exactly the same. Solving equations means we're going to find out exactly what a variable equals. We'll find out that x equals 10, or we'll find out that y equals negative 32. We'll know exactly what number it is. Now, if you wanted to show what a number equaled on a number line, you would put a dot. You'd put a point where that number was. So if I told you that x equaled 10, and I wanted to show it on a number line like so, what you would do is you would put a point right there to show that that's where x equals. That's what we would do. What we're going to talk about today are inequalities and how to show when you have more than one value, how to show that on a number line. So the idea of inequalities is the idea of less than or greater than, which hopefully you're familiar with from even as far back as elementary school. So if I told you that x is less than 10, you would know that x could equal 9, or it could equal 8, or it could equal 7, or it could equal negative 1,000. Any number smaller than 10. It could even be 9.999 if you wanted to be. It's close to 10, but it's still underneath. But it can't equal 10, and it can't equal any number that's larger than 10. So what we're going to talk about is how to show all of those possibilities. We're also going to talk about the idea of less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, which you may or may not be familiar with. So the first two, hopefully you're familiar with. So this right here is our inequality symbol. It looks like an equal sign that's been tilted, okay, one way or the other, so that instead of equal, it's either going to be less than or greater than, or I guess from the way you would be reading it, less than or greater than. So what we want to do is we want to look at that inequality symbol to figure out which one's larger. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the inequality symbol and ask ourselves, is our variable going to be on the large side of that inequality symbol or the small side of it? If it's on the large side, it means that variable is greater than. If it's on the small side, it means that variable is less than. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's take a look. X is greater than 3. Okay, so that's the way we would read this. X is greater than, because it's on the large side, 3. And we're going to talk about how exactly to show that on a number line. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the number that it's greater than on the number line. So I've made it nice and easy. I took the other numbers away. We're just focused on the one number that we were given. So we find the 3. Now, x does not equal 3. So instead of putting a point there, what we're going to do is we're going to put what's known as an open circle, like that. So there's an open circle. It's showing this is the border. It doesn't equal this number, but we're going to start here. So that's what that means. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find which direction is greater than. So when we're shading on this line, greater than is always going to be on the right side. Less than is always going to be on the left side. Easy enough to remember, L's, right? Less than, left. So we want to take a look here. X is greater than 3, so we go to our open circle. We put our open circle at 3, and then we're going to shade to the right. So you're just going to put an arrow on the number line. What that's telling us is 3 doesn't count, but any number bigger than that will. So that's what that's saying. We're going to do the same thing for less than. So this says x is less than 5. So we're going to go to the 5. We're going to put an open circle, because it doesn't equal 5, it's just 5's the border. And now what we're going to do, x is less than 5, so because it's less than, we're going to go to the left. All right? The next two symbols you're going to see, they look very similar, except you'll notice there's this line underneath. So hopefully you're able to see that, but there's this line underneath that I've circled for both of them. What that line tells us is not only is it less than or greater than this number, but it's also equal to this number. So you can start at this number and keep going. So this example over here, we have x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So that's the way we'll read it. X is greater than or equal to negative 2. So because it's equal to negative 2, we can put a closed circle on negative 2, like we would if it was just equal. So x equaled 10 here, so we put a closed circle. X equals negative 2, so we put a closed circle. The thing is, though, not only is it equal to negative 2, it's also greater than. So that means we're going to put our arrow to the right to show that it's greater than. The next example I'm going to show you, same idea, only we're using less than. But it's less than, it's also equal to. So we're going to find the number we're looking at. X is less than or equal to 7. We find 7, we put a closed circle. We want to shade to the left because that's the direction of less than. Now some of you might have noticed I've been going in the same direction as the arrow. But that's not the rule we want to follow. What we want to follow is, are we on the large side or the small side of the inequality symbol? And I'm going to show you why. So here's the next example. We have 5 is less than x. That's the way we would read this. 5 is less than x. And so we would read it this way. 5 is less than x. But what that also means is that x is greater than 5, because x is on the large side of the inequality symbol. So you'll notice here, on the inequality symbol, it's facing this way. If you drew a dotted line down the middle, 5 is on the small side of it, x is on the large side of it. So it means x is larger than 5. So what we need to do is we're going to find 5. It's not or equal to, so we find an open circle. And we're going to shade to the right, because x is greater than 5. Because x is on the big side of the inequality symbol. So you need to keep that in mind when you do it. You want to follow what side x is on, not what direction the arrow is going, but is x on the big side or the small side when you set this up. So that's how we're going to do these. We've got a couple of examples over here. We'll try them out together. The first example we have, hopefully you're able to read this as x is greater than 2. So x is greater than 2. So we have 0 right here, so we count 1, 2. Here's 2. We want to find 2 on the number line. X is greater than 2. So is that open circle or closed circle? Hopefully you recognize it's open circle. There's nothing underneath, which means there's nothing in your circle. It's open. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shade to the right. And we're going to do that because x is on the large side of the inequality symbol. So we're going to tilt this a little bit so you can see a little more. So x is on the large side of the inequality symbol, so that's what we want to do. We want to go to the right. This example over here, x is less than 3. So again, we want to find 3 on the number line. 1, 2, 3, that's 3. Open circle or closed circle? It's going to be open. And do we go to the left or the right? So we split that in half. You'll notice this time that x is going to be on the small side of the inequality symbol. So that means we're going to go to the left. So that's what we want to do there. The next problem we want to do, we've got x is greater than or equal to negative 1. So we want to find negative 1. So we go 1 back from 0. That's negative 1. Open circle or closed circle. If you look underneath, there's a bar underneath the inequality symbol. That's going to mean closed circle. So we fill in the circle. And then are we going to the left or to the right? So we use our dotted line. X is on the large side of the inequality symbol. So that means we're going to go to the right. That's all we had to do. This is x is greater than or equal to negative 1. Our next statement, x is less than or equal to 4. That's how we would read it. So we want to find 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open circle or closed circle. It's going to be closed because we have the line underneath. So we're going to find a closed circle at 4. And are we going to go to the left or the right? We split our inequality symbol. We take a look. You'll notice x is on the small side of the inequality symbol this time. It's right here. So that means we're going to shade to the left. Final two examples. This one reads negative 2 is less than x. So we're going to find negative 2 over here. And we want negative 2 to be less than x. So think about how we would say that with x first. If negative 2 is less than x, wouldn't that mean that x is greater than negative 2? So what we would do is we'd go to negative 2, open circle because there's nothing underneath, and we're going to shade to the right. Even though the arrow is pointing to the left, we're going to shade to the right because x is on the large side of the inequality symbol, just like here. So x is on the right side, but it's on the large side of the inequality symbol, so we're going to shade to the right. Over here, we have 1 is greater than or equal to x. So we're going to find 1. There's 1. It's a closed circle. Is x on the large side or the small side of the inequality symbol? Split it in half, take a look. It's on the small side. It's right here. So what we're going to do, if x is on the small side of the inequality symbol, it means x is less than 1. Less than or equal to 1, so that's the way we're going to write it. So the keys here, the things you want to focus on, it's 3 steps. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to locate the number where x is going to start at. So in this case, 2 or 3 or negative 1, wherever that is, find it on the number line. The second thing you want to do is figure out open or closed circle. So look, if there's a line underneath, then it's going to be a closed circle. If there's no line underneath, it's going to be an open circle. And then the third thing you want to look at is x on the large side or the small side of the inequality symbol. It has nothing to do with the direction of the arrows. What it does have something to do with is x on the large side or the small side. So we take a look. X is on the large side, we go to the right. X is on the small side, we go to the left. X is on the large side, go to the right. X is on the small side, go to the left. X is on the large side, go to the right. X is on the small side, go to the left. And that's all you have to do. And that's all there is to inequalities. I'll see you next time.